Arkansas.
11 teams on the men's side contesting this DMR. So a little less congested than on the women's side that had 14. I'm seeing the mile titleist, Daniel Bulmer, the senior out there for Ole Miss in this 1,200-meter leg. And from Missouri, that is Will Crocker taking the lead. And now Arkansas's Cale Wallace. Bulmer of Mississippi right there.
The pace is good, Dwight. It is not really fast. I don't think they're going to be sub 60 here for the first lap. They'll be close, but it's not a barn burner pace as you would expect. Virtually all these athletes have run 1, 2, or even 3 races before. There's Daniel Bulmer in there doing the 1,200 leg for Ole Miss, who won the mile earlier today as an example. He's back right now in the pack in second.
And we saw him lead wire to wire in that mile race. He's looking around, making certain he has room to run, nothing going on behind him. He's happy to follow Cale Wallace right now. I don't even recognize him not in the lead.
Well, he will be heard from, I think, on this leg. We'll see what he does with a lap to go.
Tennessee, the tall gentleman. We've got some wreckage there for Tennessee. That is Chase Hilton, the tall runner in the orange of Tennessee. Trying to see if we can see what happened. It's just a tangle of legs when the pace is a little slow. Is that Auburn?
Yeah,
yes, it looks like Auburn.
Yeah, it is. Held on to the baton, though.
Francis Hernandez, but that's awfully tough. He's gotten himself back up there. It takes a lot of energy to do that.
And there goes Bulmer, surprising with an early move here by Charles Grethen, who is a very solid 800-meter runner for Georgia.
So it's now Grethen for Georgia in front with Arkansas in second. And Ole Miss in third. Now Tennessee's Chase Hilton trying to challenge for the lead.
About 140 meters to go for these runners.
But Cale Wallace back into the lead for Arkansas. Now LSU suddenly up in the front part of the pack. Blair Henderson taking the lead for the Tigers. A lot of jockeying for position as they get ready to hand off to their 400-meter runners. And a big burst of speed down this finishing stretch for Charles Grethen as he hands off. And there we got some more spillage, but he got the baton off before he went down.
3 minutes, 0.72 seconds. Everybody really moved on that last 400 meters of this race. This is the 400-meter leg itself.
Raytez Jenkins of Georgia in the lead. And for LSU, that is Fitzroy Dunkley in second place. Arkansas now back to fourth.
Fitzroy's coming on here. Dunkley's heading for the lead.
Missouri now in third place. That is Jared Mason as they're getting ready to hand off to their 800-meter teammates. LSU handing off first, Georgia second. Very close between Missouri and Arkansas. Ole Miss back in fifth, and A&M.
Dunkley split 47.34 seconds. LSU surprisingly running very, very well, right up in the lead, ahead of teams that have much faster times this season.
Now Kissian Smith into the lead for Georgia, followed by LSU's Jack Wilkes.
Well, this is going to come down to the milers. There are a number of really good ones out there. A&M is due to anchor with Isaac Spencer, who is a 4-minute miler indoors this season, who did not make the mile final. That's who's scheduled to run. A&M is close, but back in the pack.
That's Andrew Prosecco in third for Arkansas. And for Ole Miss, Holland Scherer holding down fourth.
Secco he's run very well, Dwight, with some other races this season in the 150 range or better. And they're closing on the lead two guys. This is going to be great on the anchor. 150 or so meters still to go. 130. LSU. Jack Wilkes, just a freshman, running extraordinarily well here.
Alan Scherer of Mississippi trying to get up there to second place so he can hand off. Here comes that handoff to the 1,600-meter leg. LSU handing off first. Very close between Arkansas and Ole Miss. It will be Ole Miss with Craig Engels, who was second in that mile earlier.
Jack Wilkes, the freshman from LSU, 151.02 for his leg. Excellent stuff.
Philip Primo for LSU on the anchor. Craig Engels for Ole Miss.
And that spells trouble. Back in the pack, maybe back too far. It's going to be really hard. He can grind on people, but is Kefri Neal from Kentucky.
And now Georgia's Brandon Lord takes the lead. A&M now up there out of nowhere.
Well, that's
Isaac Spencer.
Yeah, I mean, a really terrific talent, and ran just over 4 minutes. The fastest of the 10-milers that ran 4:02 or better coming into this meet in the SECs. And he's got some atonement going on in his mind. He did not make the final of the SEC Indoor Mile Championships. Other teammates did. He did not.
17's in contention up front, more than half the field still in contention. Just proving that the first 3 legs of the DMR don't really matter that much if you've got a good 1,600-meter anchor.
Brandon Lord for Georgia, better known as an outstanding 3,000-meter runner, one of the best in the conference, period. If he lets this thing tarry, he's going to have problems with Craig Engels from Mississippi behind him, and very possibly Isaac Spencer, among others.
For Missouri, that's Sam Dickerson. And for Alabama, Parker Jewell.
Jewell, a 4:07-miler, and he helped contribute significantly to their 9:28 time going back earlier this season.
Austin Dahlquist is the anchor for Arkansas, and they're in 7th place currently. They can't come in with the SEC leading time.
Alabama had the 8th fastest time in the country coming into this competition with their best 4 guys they had earlier this year.
These 7 runners very close together. There's going to be some moves made pretty soon.
Dahlquist, the last guy, just a freshman, pulling up the rear for Arkansas in that peloton.
Kefri Neal trying to catch up to this group as well, but having to use a lot of energy in order to accomplish that. And Spencer makes the move. The first one to throw it down. Now it's going to start to really crank up.
This is where it gets painful in this meet with 400 or so meters to go.
From here, it's looking like they're almost dropping the freshman from Arkansas.
Well, here's why it's picked up. Here's why it's picked up, Dwight. 3:07 for the 1,200-meter mark. So these guys who have the kicks can really fly. Engels, very good speed, very sharp. I talked to Coach Brian O'Neill, and I said, who's got the quickest turnover? Who's running really well? He said Engels running very, very well.
Spencer's just changed gears on this backstretch. He's going after Engels. Engels does not see him or feel him coming. Trying to get himself into a position where he can attack off the final turn, but Engels has just now switched gears. It is Ole Miss and Craig Engels who's going to win this DMR.
Sam Dickerson trying to close for Missouri, but you're right. Here comes Missouri. Here comes Ole Miss.
Just not enough in the tank for Isaac Spencer, and Ole Miss wins it, followed by A&M and Missouri. They've got to feel good about that. They were 1-2 in the mile, and now they've won the DMR.
Craig Engel split 4:04.7 for his last 1,600-meter run of this DMR.
There it is. All day.